Well, hello everyone. Welcome in this great, glorious. Whoop, hang on, button. Oh, I know what's going on. Trying to figure out why I got this black spot again. I know, and I forgot to do it prior to starting. So bear with me, folks. That looks much better. Sorry about that. Didn't go to full screen. That's why I had what I was seeing as a problem. All right, folks, we are live and Twitch here. Yesterday, yes, thank you, Duluth, at the end of the stream. Wishing a happy stream anniversary, whatever we want to call it. As that was the day we went live. Oh, I'm sorry, correction, back the truck up. We became an affiliate 3 years ago. Today, we're going to start off here in Ramstein and head up to Frankfurt. And y'all are going, ooh, that's going to be fun. Yeah, it's only 50 something miles. Bet you didn't know. Actually, we will cover about 100 miles. But when you look at it on SkyVector, straight line, about 56 to 60 miles. The route we're taking is actually about 100% out of route. So it's the only way, though, to get in the sequence for Frankfurt in the real world coming from down here. So, yeah. Oh, what a day. But anyway, folks, we're going to finish the Pan Am Clipper Trail we've been leaving here and wrap it up with a landing in Frankfurt, putting the plane back into service, unless our fearless leader goes, yo, flying with Mike, when can you be? Yeah. So those things happen, folks. So, but anyway, no more wasting time. Let's get into it. This is actually going to be a fun flight. Let me. Oh, what I didn't look at? It did load. Oh, yeah. You know, that's an interesting thought. Nope, we're not going to do it. I actually just looked at my blah, 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 sim brief briefing, and I have passengers, and I wasn't planning on it. So, yeah. All right, so the day is starting off like a good old flying with Mike day. Hang on just a second. All right, just getting marching orders from the CEO. Not of Pan Am Virtual, but of the missus. All right, so we're still in commercial breaks here for a few more seconds. Um, Let me put my usual out there so people do know they really don't have to miss anything, so long as they head over to YouTube. And with this being such a short flight, who knows? So, but anyway, folks, I'm glad to have you aboard. I hope you enjoyed the trek from Baku. I love that place. Azerbaijan, I think I said it right. To Ramstein yesterday. That was actually kind of fun. Intermixed with a event out there. I kind of didn't know that's where it was going, but you know, we ended up in the middle of it. It's not the first time. Won't be the last. So, but welcome back, folks. Welcome back from those dastardly commercials. Um, and I will give you one tip, and I do not push it, and you've been a faithful follower of Flying with Mike, you know I don't. But if you're not into those commercials, they're dastardly, like I say, could subscribe. So, but why we don't push it, that means your bank book and the way our economy is in the US, I get it. Trust me, I'm out of work. So, I totally get it. So, just gonna say, if you don't want, if the commercials are just that bad, do one of two things. One, click the link there. Later today, this flight will be up on it, or this stream will be up on it. Two is, subscribe. So the only thing we do push a lot is following. We really do love when people follow here. So, all right. So we are off and running to Frankfurt. Ooh, what a big trip. All right, let's bring in Sim Toolkit here, folks. Hang on, get it over my screen, and here it goes up on yours. All right, so as you can see, we are not going to be on VATSIM, folks. Yesterday even proved more reasons why. I get nervous coming up. I normally don't get nervous. Well, I'm not nervous talking to ATC. It's knowing who to talk to. And that VAT glass piece of software that we were graciously given by Rostov Center confused me even more. So we're just going to, I think it was not, now that I think of it, it might have been Poland. But anyway, one of the two centers. And I'm even more confused who's actually up, who's not. So in that vein, on this short of a flight, we're going to just keep it offline. So we don't interfere with too much of the traffic. All right, so looking at the Sim Toolkit here, again, as I said many times yesterday, this is free, folks. Okay, it's not part of NavGraph. However, it is intertwined because in order to generate the flight plan that you do here to get to here goes through SimBrief. Okay, so you will have to have a SimBrief account. That is free. SimBrief is free, even though NavGraph is part of it. Okay, there have been a lot of rumors, innuendos out there that kind of have died down. So I don't know whether they'll become true or not. So I'm going to err on they're not. I hope. But even so, folks, NavGraph is a phenomenal service. They update your simulator if you're in X-Plane 11 and 12. Cannot verify 10, never flew 10. They do update the new sims, but I don't know how on the dark side they do it. I've heard there may be another company default. I don't know. I don't fly it. Don't ever plan to fly it. So, talk with some people. They're out there, folks. There's a plethora of them out there, and find out. But anyway, NavGraph will update simulators now. That used to actually not be a thing not too long ago. I'd say within the last 5 to 10 years, they finally started actually being able to update the navigational data that runs within the simulators, whereas before they couldn't. The only things that could be updated were the FMCs, I think the GPSs. I didn't fly a lot of GPS, so I couldn't tell you they did or not. Again, there's people out there that would know. So it's not all as bad as it sounds when we say it is a pay subscription type deal. On top of it, you can have NavGraph charts. And folks, that is well worth the price of admission, and it's not much. It's just a little bit more on your monthly subscription or your subscription. I don't think it's monthly, but you know what I mean. Just a little more, and you get all of the charts for the world right at your fingertips instead of maybe I can find this airport, maybe I can't. And if you're in Canada, that was one of the hardest ones to find charts up to date with your FMCs. NavGraph Charts has them, poof, right there at your fingertips. So, enough of the PSA. Like I said yesterday, they have their own advertising and all going. They don't need help from Flying with Mike. I just want you to be forewarned and alerted. They're great service. All right, so that's what we're looking at here. Sim Toolkit. It is free. Now, Volanta, mostly free. I have yet to run across anything that I need to pay for in Sim Toolkit. I did run across things that you do pay for in Volanta. Now, basic flight map like you see in front of you, that's free. You do get a neat little overlay that a lot of people like. I think one, maybe two are free. Then you start paying, folks. Other services they have, they go on the dark side view of flight simming and love to separate your wallet from you. So, and I could be wrong, but I have yet to run into anything in Sim Toolkit that I have to pay for. And I think it offers even more than Volanta. That's just me though, folks. What I use it for, Volanta can't do. Even if I pay for things, it won't do it. So that's why Sim Toolkit's here. So just wanted to because there's been a lot of questions of late, both on the YouTube side, in my personal DMs about this. And I'm just going to set the story straight here, folks. I fly on Sim Toolkit. One, it's free. More importantly, it offers what I like to use to teach both me and hopefully you all learn something from the tools we use here. So, all right, so this is a moving map. Okay, basically it's connected. This one, me, what I've set it up to be able to do is to show me what's online with VATSIM controllers, because that's a tough one sometimes. Even VATSPY fails us a lot, but it also comes through for us in other ways. It also shows the traffic, and I'm gonna say it shows the weather, but don't trust it. Don't trust it for real world outdoor plans or indoor flight sim plans. All right. They do a fair job, and I don't know who they're connected with and where they get their weather's datas and all. But yeah, and I haven't found any source that's of really, unless you start into the active skies programming and all of that, you get what you get with default. And folks, it's really good. And I'm talking all sims, but it falls flat on its face. Why? Because it's default and it's built so everyone can use it. Okay. Not just you with your Mondo condo. I can launch nuclear missiles from my little desk here. It's not made for Cray computer type people. It's made for them. It's made for the guy that's working off his phone or off of a tablet, or it's a spectra of computers of all different sizes, capabilities, and all. Some on the low end, some way beyond the high end. So that's why default weather will never be spectacular. It becomes spectacular when you begin to pay for it. And when you've already paid hundreds of dollars for a simulator and other toys that go with it, I wonder why. Where I try to keep it on the cheaper side. And hate to break it to you, sometimes, folks, the cheaper side is actually the better side. I hate to say it, but there you have it. All right, so we're here to fly to Frankfurt. We're not here to sell you Sim Toolkit or sell you Active Sky, which is a phenomenal program. We're just not using it. Okay, so today's loadout. Disregard the numbers. We are not flying anybody on board. We are ferrying, meaning we are just taking the plane from Ramstein up to Frankfurt. So whatever you see number-wise here, disregard. You'll see here how we'll load the plane. However, on this page, some important information. Mainly, there's our route. And it's fixed to fix 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 to the ILS 25 left. It doesn't say that, but that's where we end up. Will we get to Mach 0.85? Highly doubted. We might get to 300 plus knots, but that's about it because we're only going to 13,000 feet. Does that tell you how far this trip is, folks? It should. All right, so the weather here in Ramstein, calm winds. Sky is broken. Hawker must have been flying in the neighborhood to break the sky again. I tell you. 16,000 is the base at that. 23 degrees outside and a pretty much standard barometer here. Now, I can hear you Europe guys going, why is that 2991 and not in millibars? Because it's a U.S. airbase. Anyway, but anyway, that's our weather here. Calm. We're going to use, I'm not sure yet if we're going to go 2.6 or 2.7. I probably will stick with and go 2.6. The neat thing is when you're not loaded with hardly anything but a little drop of fuel, it opens up what you can do. All right. Now, for Frankfurter, winds are southwesterly at 4 knots, so a little puff in the sky. Unlimited visibility. It looks like no sky conditions reported, and I think I read a NOTAM somewhere where real world Frankfurt has no cloud-based availability on their weather reports, and I can see it a little bit in their ATIS here. Nothing significant, so that could be interesting if the weather starts going downhill on them. But anyway, we're planning 25 left ILS approach. We're not going to be online. We possibly could sidestep to the other runway center, but we'll see how things look on the approach. Transition level, that you have to worry about here. Something in just about every part of North America you don't worry about. Where it's 18,000 everywhere. Here, it varies city to city, especially in Germany, as well as center to center, because usually the centers are the country. So always, if you can get an ATIS, great. Read it, find that transition level so you know when to set your altimeter to standard in your climb and to the local altimeter on your descent, so people are roughly at the same levels on the radars and all of that. And again, we're not pre-filing, so we're going to basically fly a little short run right up here for a flight down the road with Pan Am. So, all right, so let's get going because the sun ain't going to be up much longer. And good news, folks, I've already done all the checks. Haha, surprise. So let's take a look right here at what we're going to load. All right, so we're going. Now I said 100. Hang on, I'm getting it pulled up. Wait a minute, let me make sure. Nope, I'm not doing it right yet. There we go. 106 miles. I'm doubling it. Okay, for safety, for a lot of reasons. We've got plenty of fuel, even if I put in 150, I think it would be miles, to get down to Munich, which is our, or I'm sorry, Munchkin. I always say Munich and it's Munchkin, I've been told. Okay, I can admit when I'm wrong. But I think you are. No, but anyway, 13,000's our altitude. Tailwind, yes, we have a tailwind. 240 at, or 242 at 29 as of, hang on a second. Did this come out? Come on, I know you're up here. Well, anyway, it was when the flight plan was made. Worst case scenario, I'll look here. Oh boy, nowhere is it coming up quick. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about it. So suffice to say, we're probably going to have a tailwind, and we're going to have it 242 at 29. That's actually pretty brisk for 13,000 feet. So I'd hate to be small plane coming from the Frankfurt area down towards Mannheim, Saarbrücken, uh, Ramstein area. You could have some interesting training you'll have to do in working that wind to get any kind of ground speed. Yes, I learned that once. Tacking. All right, so 10% continuous fuel contingency. I'll get it right. Fuel 30 minutes on taxi. Here's what our minimum reserves. We're going to load 50,295 pounds in. That'll cover our run to Munchkin, plus our run to Frankfurt. So we're plenty of fuel. And as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and run us empty. Okay. Again, as we spelled out a lot yesterday, this page does not load the plane. It's not loaded yet. Back to the house here, refuel. Click load data sheet. We want it to be 50,000. Look at that. We're already over it if we just went. How about that? That's amazing. But we're going to go ahead and, you know what? Let's call the tanker. And they're going to drain what it takes to get down here. Likewise, let's go over to the payload and look, there's nobody here. So we'll board, load, and they're done. 0, 0, 0. I should have probably put like 11 for the crew, to be nice, instead of making the flight attendants take a taxi. Got a big taxi here. Believe it or not, the airline may balk at that. All right, so that part's underway. Let's see here. I've already got the FMCs up and loaded. We're already aligned. We're pretty much ready once we're done with the fuel, which probably is already done. All right, I'm not gonna, let's just do it this way. We are to our numbers. All right, let's go and fly with Mike. Apu. Okay, waiting on the door to close or to open. Sorry, open. Why? It's the door that allows air into the jet engine for the APU. Already see it spooling up here. Once we reach 100% on the RPM, which it just did, oil looks good. We're good on EGT. What I do is what I call close the top half first. Then I come down here and check. Okay, it's not on the system yet, so I'm checking to make sure everything would be okay. Click and click. The APU is now on the electrical bus for the aircraft. Now the bleed air system from the APU is in the airplane as soon as we start putting the packs on. And yes, I can check each pack as I turn them on. All right, and we're set and ready to go. Now, down here, let's set our cabin altitude. And I'm just going to set it to 1,000. I believe Frankfurt is, I'm not going to say I believe, I'm looking at the chart, 363 feet above sea level. So we'll set it to 1,000 and the people won't suffer too much. All right, we're ready to go, folks. I don't know about you. Basically, to start up this plane, what I do is come in. Maybe. There we go. Immediately turn the battery and the standby power to normal. Come over here. Go to ground. Remove chocks. It'll be talking to you. Once he says chocks in, connect GPU. Once he says it's connected, I click connect ACU. Don't expect it to say anything. Then I come back. You can test the external power, right? These two switches here on the lower end. I actually have my views set up personally for me. And then once I've tested them, close. Then I begin going across the top. Anything that says test, I test. I turn on the galley power and the chillers and the lav fan to auto. Trim air is on. Humidifier, I'm going to go ahead and turn on. Oh, I thought I had that open. I failed. Going all the way across. Now your fire checks right here for your engines, main engines. This is top is your fire check, overheat check. So if your APU catches fire, that's how you check for the alarm for that. Overheat here. Same thing, fault for fire, fault for overheat. Then next to it is your cargo fire check. And then you got a whole bunch of tests and all to do to get the plane ready to go. And charge up the hydraulics. Ready to go, folks. and then you just go through. You could also, if you're not doing this as a stream to show people, just use the onboard checklists. Go through, let them help you out. Just be ready to try to figure out where the heck they are, like we're going to.
Before start checklist, please. Gear lever and lights. Down and check. Brakes. Parked. Start levers. Off. Radios. On and check. Flight control hydraulic power. On. INS. Check and nav. Compasses. Slaved. Window heat. On. Seatbelts and no smoking. On. Emergency lights. Armed. Exterior lights. Check. Flight instruments. Check. Altimeters and clocks. 1013. Set and cross-check. Radio INS switches. Radio. Radar and transponder. Standby. Indicator lights. Check. Engine and wing anti-ice. Off. Stall warning. Check. Mach airspeed warning. Check. Auto brakes. Check and off. Body gear steering. Arm. Anti-skid. On. Autopilot and flight director. Check and off. Takeoff warning. Check. Auto flight enunciators. Check. GPWS. Check. Instrument warning. Check. Flight director computer selectors. Check. Instrument source selectors. Normal. Reserve brake valve. Closed. Spoilers. Down. Static selectors. Normal. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. Brake pressure. Check. Stabilizer trim. Check and on. Rudder and aileron trim. Check. Checklist completed.
Battery. On. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 50190 pounds. Fuel panel. Weight. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls. This. Check and set. Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. This.
All right, I'm gonna leave it and take off dry and go from there. So we'll just click check.
Circuit breakers. Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. Let's see. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check. Crew oxygen. On. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. ADPs. Off. Checklist completed.
Okay, we'll come back to that in just a second after we start up. All right, folks. Looking around outside, we've got a couple of pieces of equipment to get rid of. We can do that now. We just go to ground.
Ground power disconnected.
Cockpit to ground. Remove the chocks.
Chocks removed.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, so we got the pushback coming. Let's make sure everything's removed. Alright, and then we can also verify outside the plane. No chocks, nothing. Beacons are on. And the doors are closed.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Alright, we loaded. Sorry, folks. Alright, we're ready to go. We're going to get a little bit of a night flight in here, little sunset action.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, timer. And brakes on.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Before we start, make sure our packs... Excuse me. Alright, we're ready to go. Everything's set here. 8. And here we go.
Ready to start the engines.
Ready for engine start.
Starting engine 3.
Start valve open.
Got a little bit of a pushback here. So,
20% and 2.
right, put the fuel valve to idle.
Fuel on. Lights up.
High altitudes, folks. You may have to go to rich first, and then idle once the engine spools up. We ran into that in Bogota. That was a trip.
Starter off. Engine stabilized.
Okay, let's crank up number 4.
Starting engine 4.
Starter valve open.
Now, technically, I could start both engines at once. I don't. That APU is that strong.
20% and 2.
Sorry.
Fuel on. Lights up.
This flight director's on.
Starter off. Engine stabilized.
All right, so now let's get one.
Starting engine 1.
Start of valve open.
Starting engine 2.
Start of valve open. %, and 2.
Okay, and
Fuel on. Light up.
20%, and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
Starter off. Starter off. Engine stabilized.
one more.
Engine stabilized.
All right, so all the engines are up and running. Let's head over here. First thing I'm going to do, get them on the electrical bus. And now the aircraft is on its own power. Oh wait, I forgot one piece.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, and we'll have
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
okay, we got to figure out how much runway we have. I'm gonna go ahead with the 5 and 781. Wow. 260. Temperature here 21. 291 still. Nope, 292 now. Oop. And we're calm. Alright, so with all of this is our takeoff data. That's why I clicked here. This is our takeoff and takeoff CG parameters for the runway. I could put the slope in. It's findable in Sim Toolkit. Down 1.1.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thanks for being free there, Better Pushback. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Alright, so click set speeds, 2.6 on the trim, 20 degrees, climb, 284 above 10,000 feet. There's our pins, we're ready to go. Alright, so we've got our basic data in. So I do a quick look. Beacon lights, brake pressure, engine ice, electric panels, set pack panels. We'll double check hydraulics and that. Go.
After start checklist.
Flight recorder.
On.
Start switches.
Off.
Beacon lights.
On.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Engine and the ice.
Off.
Electrical panel. Check. Pack valves. Open. Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
Flaps 10.
Okay. Probe heat, that's up here. All right, and oh, one biggie. All right, let's do our flight controls. Now, I'm going to kind of slide over so you can watch the gauge right here. This is your flight control gauge. All right, and let's see what else we have. Yaw dampers, seatbelts, fuel heats off, totalizer, engineer. Okay, I think we're good, and then we can start
Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data, EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check.
Stabilizer trim.
Set in green band.
Probe heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Check.
Yaw dampers.
Check.
Seatbelt and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU. Off. Fuel heat. Off. Totalizer and gross weight. Set. Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo heat. Normal. Seatbelt and shoulder harness. Check. Taxi checklist completed.
Parking brake released.
All right, again, we are empty, folks, so don't expect. Here, we'll take a look while we get underway. 2,000 feet of runway is all we need. So, and I have seen these things leave pretty empty. And it's impressive, but I still think we eat up more runway than it shows. All right, so 20. All right. All right, folks, so basically we got a taxi all the way down this way, cross over at Charlie. We'll see how that works. We may have a way. Like I said, I was very tempted to do the 9,800 foot runway of 2.7, but I haven't checked strengths and all, and since it gave us this, why not? Right here used to be the, I don't remember how far back, but that's where you would run into the, that's where the passenger terminal is. I think Rhine-Main was still open at Frankfurt. They're in the process or have already completed. I'm not sure if that's where Lufthansa is going to end up, or the airlines on the southern side of the field. But Yeah, there's a big terminal complex going in. Wow. Okay. Kudos to X-Plane. They actually got the rotating beacon correct. I'll let you all look that up. That is awesome when they take it to that level. All right, now aircraft assigned here. You got tankers, you got C-130s, C-21s, plus C-17s. I don't know if there's any actual C-17s assigned, but they're in and out of here big time. This was where they stopped, refueled, crew rests, all of that kind of stuff before going to the proverbial sandbox. Cargo planes routinely came in here, especially if things didn't go the way the airline needed it to on the North Atlantic tracks, and they weren't going to have enough fuel to get down country into country, so they would pit stop here for fuel. It happens more, from what I gather, more than I had ever dreamed it would. I figured your flight plan, you were cleared and you would get it, especially over the North Atlantic. Hint, folks, there's no radar. It's strictly in the real world position reporting, albeit via the ACARS if you have CPDLC, or God forbid the high frequency. That looks not capable. So, we'll and by that, look at how narrow that taxiway is. That's probably C-130s or smaller. I don't want to try this plane down. Fighters, also. Ramstein traffic, Clipper 3 will come on to runway 27 to take the taxiway over to runway 26 for departure. I could back taxi, but why? Why put the wear and tear on the plane when I could just ease right over this way? Now, real world, what would they do? I don't know. Is that taxiway as narrow as advertised? Never been, folks. Only been via flight sims, and most flight simmers would miss on that who were building sceneries. Especially for the military, they would definitely miss, because military in the dark side was very sketchy if you even got a ramp. Now, I can't speak for the new what came out in 2020 or what's about to, but I would just say I'm going to just say I don't know. But past policy, yeah, they totally left us hanging and dry here at the military bases. And Ramstein traffic, Clipper 3 heavy, departing 26 to the north. Before I get messages saying we can't hear ATC, I'm not on ATC.
before takeoff checklist.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check.
Transponder.
Check.
Ignition.
Flight start.
Body gear steering.
Okay, hang on. We'll get that disabled here. I'm going to show it off a little bit here so you guys might get a better understanding of what it is. All right, let me give it a little power. Pay attention right here, folks. See the wheels, how they caster? That is meant to help get this aircraft on airports that weren't yet made for it. For instance, when the 727 came out, one of its Achilles heels was they needed 10,000 feet of runway a lot of times, especially hot days. At least that's what some people told me. I would love to say they're 100% reliable. You never know.
Disarm.
Pack valves. Wait.
Okay, we'll go ahead. Anyway.
Closed.
The
Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps. On. Cross feed valves. Check. Before takeoff checklist completed.
Alright, so airports would be built not for these big behemoth aircraft. Folks, first off, you're 2.5 stories in the air, if not 3. Taxiing a plane where you used to be a good story and a half below. So there's a lot that had to go in. Airports were not set up for aircraft with that kind of wheelbase. And to make turns on the taxiways, they had to be pretty tight and specific. Eventually, they would widen those intersections to help out these heavies. But before, at a cost of a lot of money in tires. And because of that, dragging that around instead of having that assist. It's kind of like if you watch fire trucks, folks, say San Francisco, New York, the hook and ladders. You got the guy back in called the tiller. He's driving the trailer to try to make those tight turns. Same concept here, except it's all done by the air, as soon as he pushes and does what he does. Here we go.
Stabilized.
Brakes off. Timer on. EPR.
Cross set.
Okay, got a little down.
80 knots.
80 knots.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Gears up.
Gears up. Flaps up. 1,000 to level off.
All right, folks, we're almost through
10,000.
10,000 feet already.
After takeoff checklist.
Gear lever.
Off.
Landing and logo lights.
Off.
1,000 level off.
Ignition.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking sign.
Check.
Pack valves. Open. Fuel heat. Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
All right, folks, and there you go. 13,000 feet, we're in cruise. And we'll just go direct PIPX from where we are right now. And folks, we're in cruise at 300 knots. So I hope y'all are having an enjoyable time with this one. I know we're in a commercial break right now. Just kind of checking my chat real quick here. I got kind of wrapped up in it. But hope y'all enjoy this little excursion up to Frankfurt. All right, and I can see we're coming out of the ad break now. Hopefully we'll get on a direct course to PIPX and begin setting up for the ILS 25 left. Let me dial that in. That is 115. And our inbound is 246. Oh, dude. That's what I get for not paying attention. Oh, wow. All right. Frankfurt itself is 15.9. All right. Huh, wonder what that red line's all about. Here, let me show y'all. As you can tell, we're not doing stream raiders for this flight. Yeah, this red line right here, I don't know what that's about. Huh. Never, I do see weird things sometimes on these charts. Really? Don't know why they're connecting U-Bend to Bombi. Do not cross this line. It's my line in the sand. Oh well. All right, again, 190 at 4. Now, typical operations that I understand, and folks, it's dated, but I think listening to the way traffic generally relates here, landing traffic 25s or 7s. Sometimes they depart said runways, but a lot of times they depart on 18. Rarely have I seen anyone take off runway 36. So to give you a bearing, most of your landings right and left, either side, 7s or 25s. Departures when this runway is just completely unusable, 25 center. So that's the general flow here. Now, it's good right now if you were to want to experiment and see what it's like. Good day in Frankfurt. They have a pretty heavy staff. For all I know, there's an event going on, unbeknownst to me. Hey, that's cool. I can check my feed real quick, but and I got to figure out how to put that on Discord so you all can jump in these events when you want. Oh, we're getting some rain. Now, if that becomes a problem, folks, it is legal to reach up here, find the strobes, and go click. Perfectly legal. Matter of fact, a lot of places turn them off after 10,000 feet. I didn't know you could do that. I'll be honest. I thought you kept them on the whole flight. But you see how that strobing could be a problem for some people. All right, now for the ILS, we need, I think I'm going to go ahead, begin my descent. And we'll do it at about 1,200 feet a minute. I believe what just lit up over here, folks, is Frankfurt. I believe. So, like I said, you're up. I even joked with my wife saying, I don't even know if I'll get the landing gear up. It's... Like I said, folks, straight line, it's about 60 miles at best. Because of the flight route we got to fly, it's about 100 miles. So you're not getting much altitude. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely Frankfurt, folks. So, and that's part of the reason I chose to stream this flight. It's a short, I was hoping to not get long-winded again with Sim Toolkit like I like to do. And All right, so auto brakes. Let's go ahead, do a quick down and dirty performance check. Landing 13,000 foot runway. Actually 13,100. Said 360 feet. Runway heading 250. High. Conditions here 18 degrees. Altimeter 13.
10,000.
10 to 210. 210 at tree. Little puff from the southeast. All right. Load data sim. All right, so we're going to set our speed bugs, but I'm just going to use minimum. We'll use medium. Halfway down the runway, we'll get off, find our way to the terminal. Okay. Really need to know where we. Okay. So we're at 6,000, about to descend at a next fix. And there's the airport again, folks.
Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Check.
Outer brakes.
Hold on. Low.
Radio INS switches.
Radio.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Spoilers.
Armed.
Altimeters.
1013. Set and cross-check.
Landing data, EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. Off. EPR computer. Go around. Cabin altitude. Check. Circuit breakers. Check. Approach checklist completed.
All right. Actually, I thought I heard him say we were at the altitude, and I misinterpreted.
Level off. Flaps 1.
All right, folks, we are coming about. And Frankfurt traffic, Clipper 3 heavy, intercepting the localizer 25 left.
Localizer alive.
Approximately 18 miles out, runway in sight. Okay, so I am actually going to set the speed higher.
Flaps 5.
Oh, that's nice. What happened there, folks, and I don't get why the altitude select went off instead of staying there. So we kept descending, very reminiscent of a crash in the Everglades back in the 70s with the, at that time, one of the most sophisticated aircraft, supposedly, the L-1011. All right, now we're 11 miles out. Let's set. And instead of the switch being thrown, the pilot bumped the control yoke. There's a whole lot of other crap that went on with that flight, but and the aircraft just slowly descended. Nobody caught it until the proximities went off.
Flaps 20. Gears down, green light.
All right, we'll be running the checklist here.
Flaps 25.
And Frankfurter traffic, Clipper 3 heavy, 25 left, 8 mile final.
Flaps 30.
So run the landing checklist, please. Landing checklist.
After landing checklist.
Oh, what?
Brake pressure.
Check. Landing checklist.
Gear.
Down and check.
Down and check. Flaps.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30. Ignition.
Flight start.
Anti-skid.
Check.
Altimeters. 1013. Set and cross-check. Landing checklist completed.
All right, let's see if we can't do a little better than what we did last time. Five-mile final, Frankfurt Clipper 3.
1000.
And we're stable landing.
$500.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Sync rate.
$50, $40, $30, $20. $10.
Check reverse. Out, off, reverse. Auto brake off. 60 knots.
And Frankfurt traffic clear, 25 left to the terminal.
Flaps up.
Spoilers. Okay, so we'll cross here, let's see, Micah 28 to the ramp, find us a pocket spot. I'm going to try and get down. I know where I want to generally go. I'll be honest, I doubt it's where Pan Am went. All right, and then we go down Lima to the terminal. "28-minute fly time, folks." Now let's do that after landing.
After landing checklist.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Body gear steering.
Arm.
Auto brakes.
Off.
Ignition.
Damn. Off.
Engine and wing anti-ice.
Off.
Radar and transponder.
Standby.
Flaps.
Up.
Spoilers.
Down.
Stabilizer trim.
Damn. 7 units.
Outflow valves. Open. Pressurization mode selector. Wait. Manual. Aft cargo heat. Wait. Off. APU. Check. Checklist completed.
By the way, folks, all of this that we're taxiing by is overflow parking. For those flights waiting to depart at a later time to free up that gate, or that's where they generally go when you're bussed out to your plane. Welcome to a whole different way of doing things. Now, Dulles is the closest off the top of my head that does this. The closest. But even that doesn't compare. So really, they're just testament to the amount of traffic. Or you could look at it as going, we all know Atlanta and JFK are some of the busiest, if not busiest, in the world. Wow. The number of terminals they have is incredible. Atlanta, all those different terminals stacked up on the ramp, connected by an underground railroad. And JFK, I think, has one going between terminal and terminal. So it's just incredible. Anyway, that's the kind of things I like learning about these airports. It just, I mean, these facilities along the way, it just, what the heck are they for? All right, we're going to go ahead and get in here so we can wrap this up for Spaceman and Pan Am Virtual. I'm just going to take this stand right here. Now I had a feeling I missed it. Oh, I see what it is. Okay. Allowing for all right, let's all right, one thing I have found I have troubles with, that didn't trigger them to talk, nor did it trigger if you were running an ETAR system to tell it you've parked. Okay, so, and I don't know what the trigger is for that. Beyond that, folks, this is just one spectacular plane. All right, did we get held up here? No. Okay, so let's get this thing first shut down. Okay, we are here, folks, and go there on that. Okay, come over here before we start into that.
Cockpit to ground. Put the chocks on.
Chocks are on.
All right, now all right, we're in the blocks. Let's see if we have a, we should. Get up here. I wish we could get both of them working. Oh well. Alright, so we're in the blocks, folks. Welcome in. Let's, hang on, let me get my in time. Oh, disregard. I didn't write my out time in. Alright, let me get some toolkit up here, folks. We don't have an airline to argue with. No. Talk about the landing rate 431. Okay, I'll buy it. All right, so they're saying we were off 1953Z on 24Z. What? Oh, air. Oh, we were airborne. I got it. Okay, I was trying to figure out what en route time 24 minutes and 56 seconds. Okay. Like, what the heck? Oh, all right. So 431 feet a minute at 134 knots. That's pretty close to the numbers. A little harder than I wanted to touch down at. All right. Departure 1430. Okay. Let's do it this way. 1435. Arrival 1530. We know our en route time. We're going to see it again. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Just a basic little elongated S. So they're saying a flight time of 54 minutes. I kind of believe that. 50 miles, don't believe that. And 6.8 kilograms of fuel. Not a lot. Landed 1.1 Gs at 431 feet a minute, 134 knots. And here's how it looked. And don't be surprised if it puts us on a different runway. It didn't. Wow. All right, we did land long. That I know. You can see just how long. Here's the landing area. Here's where the threshold is. We landed outside the landing zone. I'm perfectly fine on a 13,000. And we were only 4 feet off the center line. So I'm fine with that. I know I flew it kind of hot, a lot of it. And here's what I was talking about. This is where the old Rhine-Main Air Base used to be. B-52s, the whole 9 yards here, folks. Now it is a terminal, and I don't know for who. If it's the new international, I don't know, because there's still all of this over here, and that kind of gives you an idea of the amount of aircraft in and out. All right, so over here the numbers look good other than the 431. So overall, I'm not going to complain. Honestly, who'd listen? So we are in Frankfurt. I hope you enjoyed, folks. We had a blast. This was fun. Hour and 45 minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. God bless you all. And we'll see you again tomorrow. I haven't decided yet 100% the flight. It's either going to take off from Reno or Skathos. If you have a preference, remember, it is Viewer Appreciation Month, folks. Head over to the Discord channel. And I'm going to give you that link. I know it's popped a couple times, but head over there, folks. Give me your, hey, if I hear people saying, I want to see you go out of here, or I want to see you go out of there, yeah, I'll do it. So you don't have to put the airplane down. I've already got flights lined up, but you could. But yeah, let me know. Skathos or Reno. And next week will be just as interesting as this. As we begin to top out and head downhill towards the end of Viewer Appreciation Month, I do plan a group flight. I know it'll be very short notice. And during that flight, I plan to do a giveaway. Most likely a gift card. That way it keeps you all from being mad at me for you're forcing X-plane on us. Well, I technically am by never flying the other simulator because I just don't see the hype behind it. So, but I won't do that in a gift card. So for now, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. I hope y'all again have a fantastic, Sunday. And as always, thank you for flying with Mike, and be safe, be kind, do something nice for your neighbor.
Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high.
There's my man. There he is.